interest. And so the squad are here quickly. Last week was the birthday of the boss behind the bosses here at Omi TV in the person of Oliver Mens. Today happens to be the birthday of a very special person, Patricia Mensah. A special birthday wish to you. I wish you the very best. I pray and hope that as you grow or you metamorphose to a very special person, you would also mature. I know you're an intelligent person, and I just hope that you keep being that intelligent young lady you are, and then hopefully the sky will definitely be the limit. So yes, I welcome you once again to the National Platform. We are touching base with you right here from our base here at Racecourse Kwashibu, the national capital of Ghana. Yes, so if you are watching us around the globe on Facebook, is the National Platform. My name is Ruben. The squad are here quickly. Let's take a look at our quote for the morning. All right, so this is a quote from James Baldwin. He says, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Let me take it again. James Baldwin says, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." So that is our quotes for the morning quickly. My guys are here. You see, I've tagged you guys as the squad. Mother is here.
Yeah, that is good.
My mom, welcome. How you guys doing?
We are all doing very well.
Good. Samilia, you looking African, you know.
Yeah, I want to follow you guys.
But today we are somewhere in UK. Why did you decide to come to Ghana when we are flying? Can't you see me in my suit?
I still want to be in Ghana. It's dangerous being out there.
Oh, okay.
Around this time, we are in COVID, and I mean, what is happening out there?
So this one, you are bringing COVID. So and there's no
Okay,
conversation.
at the moment, you know of Floyd at the moment. So let me say that. Yes, let me add that one as well. That because of that,
since you started with Floyd, I would want you to start with Floyd. But Floyd has said no. Samilia, let me. Pacho, I'll come back to you. Samilia, we're making mention of Floyd's issue. How do you think this racism issue? John Mensah would say racism. How do you think this issue can be dealt with? Because it's becoming really a serious issue around the globe. And you can see that the demonstrators are not just blacks, but you have whites also joining the demonstration in other parts of the. And it's not in only US, but all around the world. Even in Ghana, I heard that we were even trying to also start ours. Yeah. What do you make of that?
The fact is, if now it's not happening to you, you think it is nothing. The quote said it. You would think it's nothing until it's your turn.
Yeah.
So I think we should all stand and fight certain things at this moment. This is not something we should take it lightly. It is happening to someone you don't know today, and you think it's not close to you, so it will never get to you. But sit there and wait. Sit there and wait. So we should get up and work towards all these things.
Okay, Kofi, quickly, 1 minute. Now you share newspapers. Oh, they are how? I saw person who's so.
Nanka. Obisi umia obi no catch us mentime home na mame home now dey arrest me na family police station ade amaye no now dey go and deal with me.
Don't take someone's breath just like that.
I didn't necessary na ade aye me dey say now we can be say enya blacks no ko whites ni nyina e kan ho na che say utimi say I don't know enya black nko na dey yom even the whites the police are doing the same thing to them enti aye me dey say whites ni nyina kan and now hwa aye the whole America enya baby ade ne see ye do and eya me the pass so say police for baby ade ne see ye no corona ade ne see ye no so police for nyina me hwe omo video bi na omo nyina police for nyina about book to
apologize
to the public say
just apologize.
I mean, who does that? In this 21st century, we're all fighting against racism, you know. I think it's about time we look at that. But aside, say, black, sometimes we also, in our own way, also involve in acts of racism. That kind of thing is also one form of racism. But in general, we should all condemn racism.
You should be very, very careful.
So quickly.
Should be very, very careful.
Okay, so now can
we South Africa up to date South Africa da so ho sa problem e da so ho you krobi wo ha white nko ho Kobe wo
Mr. Juma,
Pretoria.
Quick break. Yes, for one of the
Right.
Okay, so we are taking a very quick break. When we return, the national platform continues on OMTV. Stay tuned. You all come back, so straight away let's do our newspapers for the morning. Sam, as usual, you take us through.
Yeah, the Ghanaian Times says reopening of schools for final year students, SHS, JHS to write special exams, WAEC to conduct country-specific WASI and BC. Okay.
Good.
Use death of George Floyd as catalyst to effect changes. President urges US. Then police CID grants Bernard Mona 20,000 Ghana cedis inquiry bill. Then EC begins. Please, I want that. Okay. So new dates for exit examination. That is for WASI. That is going to be 3rd August, and that of BC is 14th September. Then EC ends pilot voter registration today.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
This is a newspaper. That's that of yesterday. So
then flogging father pleads guilty. Then poultry farmers welcome ADB intervention. Can we please have the next? That was the Daily Graphic. Then the Ghanaian Times again. It seems we've gone through this already. Can we please have the next one? Okay, the new crusading guide. It says NDC makes U-turn. Participate in pilot voter registration exercise. That is from.
So this is one of the topics will be discussed.
Okay. Then I have not fired my lawyer. That is from Bishop Obini.
Okay.
Then COVID-19 hampers railway construction. As over 70 workers test positive. Wow. Then Pantan, land guards remanded in police custody.
Land guards for you.
Then the informer, it says, I'm not Mohammed's aide. That is NBC boy beats retreat. Don't disenfranchise Ghanaians. House of Chiefs tell EC.
That's Hadije panics.
Hadije panics over possible government.
That's the Deputy Information Minister. Next. Deputy Information.
Can you please have the next one? Then the Daily Statesman, it says Education Ministry to employ over 27,000 pre-tertiary teachers and others.
Okay.
Then EC's pilot voters registration takes off smoothly. I'm good for that. Yesterday. Then NPP primaries for June
20. Wow,
June
finally.
20, yeah. Finally, the date is out. Then NEC meets today to affirm steering committee decision.
Still on the NPP.
Yeah. Can we please have the next paper? I think we've done this already. We've done this as well. We've done this as well. Then the daily graphic, it says that COVID-19 pandemic restrictions eased. That was as at Sunday. Then 6 more bodies retrieved. That is from the voter lake.
Now I want you to capture that one. Schools will open for final year students. Abridged religious activities begin. And then borders remain
so
closed.
Let me take that from the daily graphic.
Activities.
It says COVID-19 pandemic restrictions eased, and it has been eased in these directions. Schools reopen for final year students. Abridged religious activities begin. Borders remain closed. Then limited political activities. That is from the president as at Sunday.
Okay.
So
let's take the final one.
Then from the Ghanaian Times, it says 500,000 smokers risk contracting COVID-19. Very true. It has to do with your lungs and all that. So, then Student Loan Trust Fund to disburse 32 million Ghana cedis, 32.3 million Ghana cedis by end of 2019-2020 academic year. That is from Vincent Asiefua.
He's the PRO for the Ministry of Education.
Then 16 women nabbed over fake currency printing distribution in Kumasi.
Hey, that's what Shaba.
Yeah, man, yeah, wow, though. Then Zoom Lion disinfects Central Mosque in response to Chief Imam's appeal.
Okay, I think we would have to end it here on the newspaper quickly. So let me start with you, Samilia, on the issue about EC, and then they're piloting stuff or something yesterday. So piloting is basically to test how the system will be, to test the machines and see. And we heard that it ended yesterday. Did you follow that?
Yeah, I followed it, and I learned there are certain regions, that is the Western and I think the Volta region, who are having issues. And I would suggest that we know Ghana, and we know certain places have been branded, areas, and so they are sensitive places. So I would suggest that you should test the machines before you take them there if you don't want trouble, because already there are issues.
No, some of this you can't test before taking them there. You need the people to come for you to do the registration. So whilst you do that, you get to see the change.
Yes. So as soon as those issues are detected, we beg them. They should make sure they work on it.
They will definitely work on it. It was halted in Western region because of the challenges they had. I'm told it couldn't continue at a point.
Yes. So I think they should be proactive and work on some of these things for us so that there wouldn't be issues.
So that I think the minority would then lay the arguments on that, saying that these are the reasons why we told you
not to.
Yeah, because of the
issues would definitely
maybe they are also sure that they are able to beat the timing. They will tell you that's why they are piloting.
The issues will definitely come. So we should be proactive. Since we've started it, at least Ghanaians have said a whole lot, but the EC still wants to go ahead with it, and that is in their part to do it.
But do you think it's fair, having had the National House of Chiefs
I still stand my grounds that it is not the right time to do it. I still stand my grounds.
But do you work with the EC? Are you a technical person there?
We are not. Let's take COVID. We are not in normal times, and we are saying this all the time. So why should we risk?
We are not in normal times, but things are ongoing.
We shouldn't risk.
Schools are going to.
Schools are going, but they are going through measures, and even UG
so maybe
is saying,
EC also put measures in place.
UG is saying at the moment that they are not even opening, even though the things have it has been opened and all that. UG is saying they are not opening.
What is UG?
Because they know University of Ghana is saying they are not reopening for their students to come in because they know the caliber of people they have in that school.
I'm told some of the churches too. Okay, we will come to that. Piloting, Andra, Eshase, no, Eshase 2 days ago, Andra, and the Omunya challenges, Kakra, but obviously, you would want to see how the grounds will be, and then to test the waters and see. In Syndrome, piloting, I mean, 2 days, no more piloting, they had some challenges. Would you say it's a challenge is no more facing into it means they didn't take the right decision? And now it's good, so Mahun and Temon to me, I try no.
Oh, really, my friend free say, last time I can say, sir, politician Castro said, me baby to idea we are. What I didn't know, pay wide year kick it. And I say,
I ban the answer, yeah, because you need to move for no.
Meanwhile, I'm the I'm kotu articles be, and I add the cover so, sir, maybe article this blah constitution we see HRS. Emma is in a mandate say, as I saw talk and Yamana say, as I saw talk better. And to what him, timamuni no wunni hweka wunni bi ebi na asem ka akora enko na so so what man say enko enti wo every right so osesa there and wasesa say wasesa no and a problem ebe problem na aban e che say I ukoto machine say wow test here now who ne challenges yeah now or ratify that situation no and until omo share side ya say omo ye now omo hwe omo ye no challenges are eba say na Samira Eka say as a set omo ye ne 10 no omo ratify situation ni nyina ansana December 7th no edu and yes idea the problem they say problem
and we don't want to vote 2 days
exactly we should go 1 day
it's not supposed to happen
well
1 day and more also
if it has to it all
it's not supposed to happen
and more also I say turn a scanner no and no the problems in by until omunye 10 no munye ho adwuma 10 say they call back mo ye ho adwuma na ye faster ye say udun sasi so e bia 10 minutes kura na intimi scan o scan so so say e dey process no e be ba ama ye hu say wo asomasi wi no e be di be 10 minutes
I hear it's 40 minutes for the whole process.
I also what I gathered was that it's 10 minutes
10 minutes
say ye dey kwa mo me mfa nko ne nye ne tentem
now I mean brought back Beaumont EC issue no we so almost say mode of identification and name also here na passport and adeba Ghana card a minority so say a birth set and HSN nipa no ya won wo kroma aye fimu so what do you make of niema ECC or because Ghana nkasa no passport nya there incrofo share that fancy is share into 2 points enya Ghana nko US UK some of these countries do not really hold in high esteem passport because enyo more that you so make to kwan na but easy fee say that's the a year was a year you should take into consideration almost at least all Ghana card and will be enough an identification a year so who is saying
say ya fan say yeah the birth certificate no any the yes a document we nyina and to see the birth certificate na a document no which means the document itself no ankasana a valuable
it's a birth cert na wo de year I don't know we birth cert na fimu e no na office say no yes
omo year we no eto wono to na just say we no abe qualify birth certificate no paper what you say nti say ukuta Ghana card no and I say ukuta voting ID card or whatever it is ubetimi dia vote e wo be biara obegina bia vote
on the second way so
national ID no
ID for saying obi Ghana card
me will be and I'm
do you have
I don't have a Ghana card
okay so I have as well so
I don't have a Ghana card
anyway that was just by the way quickly let's look at the information our president had by on Sunday or I mean he eased some of the restrictions we expected I think we discussed that I remember I think 3 years 3 weeks ago, you predicted that if there's going to be some easing, then it should be for the final years. I think he paid heed to what you said. Aside that, he also made mention that churches are also to commence this Sunday, and then running off shifts, 100 per congregation, and then observing the social distancing rules within the church premises, as well as making sure say choir for no metunyum no kwa no mo share nose mask and all obi beside nanam journalist back beside says so how do you identify the 100 person in terms say yeah me sana and 9 ya bedru na this year aka nipa back be 100 how do you
the bema trainer can at na train else wait with the 3 so that you join the next
I think for 99 and never
my only challenge is some of us go with our children. So are children part of the 100?
They are part of it.
My children are part of the 100.
They are humans. Of course, they should be. They are humans, and they can easily contract.
And now they are saying no Sunday school.
Anyway. So you go with them.
So the only thing the president is trying to tell us is, please stay home and don't go to church.
Well, you can't say that. Please.
Me, I've said it for him. He's only trying to tell us that please don't go to church.
So we have just
please don't go anywhere. Stay home.
Wouldn't be not
the restrictions be brave. Did you see the guidelines?
I'm
sorry with guidelines.
You wanted restrictions. The president has given you restrictions.
Do you know something? Wouldn't be pressure and be the man. pressure for the man.
But Matis ICGC is on Makers House song and other.
And those of us who want to go, we are now going to, I mean, try to get Nyaman Bebre no Diaban. We are going to try to get.
But I'm just imagining how the
congregation is going to
share with no motor. A bad guy.
I want to go and keep.
A bad guy.
What's your mask? I want to
go
and voices in the Emma. Now, as I say, Max.
By the other man, a different voice, and also it could be different. Let's explore. I mean, sometimes it's good to explore.
So maybe the first time they will all.
But I would love to go on Sunday to see how it. I think by 5 a.m. I should be there for the first session.
So that you check
to do my journalistic work to see how they have to pay heed to what the president says.
It has to else there is this time bomb waiting for all of us.
But there are some churches whose total congregants or congregation will be like, let's say, 34.
Oh, they are relieved.
But it depends on baby or Moshano.
Who's
the president?
They also have to go by the protocols mentioned because it's serious. Where we stand at the moment as Ghanaians, it's very, very serious, and the world at large is very, very serious.
How familiar are you with Ablekuma West constituency?
I live there.
That's where you live?
Yes.
That's where you are?
Let me say part and non-partly I live there because that is where
so where are you voting there?
Yeah, I would vote there definitely. That is why I want, because that is where I have, I mean, family and I
so your PC is coming?
I would love to see.
And Reverend Kwekuado Ebedi and exclusive one. Or be catch here. Sinyame na dom no to me we near name Obeyama constituency for but any easy man crass because in him send porn in the pray is likely to be the current communication minister. And then a question back our man or a day na me end the session.
Dear me person or mebusano. And I say minyano 101 and mebusano.
What the family can
me catch say a community no in here hospital a man could see toilet.
But say any juma.
And Ejuma, Obelobi.
Meaning the lobbying skills never so sharp because it doesn't fall within his jurisdiction or domain to provide such amenities. So that does it for the newspaper segment. I had the squad with me, Samila Ishen, aka Samila Dodo, and then Nicholas Kofi Juma, aka Mo wishing me birthday. We will be back after this break. Stay tuned. So you welcome back from that break. Jemima Dodo is here for the flashing. Jemima, how are you doing?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm good. I said, already, no name. I said, yeah, I said, couple be in us. What is here? Anyway, take us to what you have. Yeah?
Okay, good morning. You're welcome to Flash News on Omi Television. My name is Jemima Dodo. The Minister for Information, Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, in an interview has explained the meaning of mass testing, and he indicated that government hasn't given up on mass testing.
I have to react to. As I've mentioned, we are not ones to reject good feedback, but maybe one or two or three matters that ought to be responded to. First is this very direct question from Alex, whether government has given up on the possibility of mass testing. I think the answer is no, government has not given up on the possibility of mass testing. But you need to approach that possibility with some analysis. It's like talking about evacuating Ghanaians back into the Ghanaian jurisdiction. You can't walk into it blindly. You've got to do some deep dives. So, for example, what is this whole concept of mass testing? And what does it really do? Is it a preventive mechanism or what? The thing about testing, and maybe the overflow of our own communication that we're going to do a very heavy testing of at-risk populations, has also led people to believe that testing is a panacea and that people testing negative is some sort of solution per se, because that is not the case. The reality is that you could test negative right now and as you exit the test facility, pick up the virus. So testing is not a panacea. What we have therefore sought to do is to test what we call at-risk populations, because there's a clear mapping of where the virus is, the persons who are at risk, and therefore you're able to concentrate your resources. Even under this enhanced testing structure, you're able to concentrate your resources within what we call these at-risk populations. So it is not as though mass testing necessarily means that all the persons who test negative are safe of something. It only means that at the time they were tested, they have not contracted it. But you can achieve the same by testing at-risk populations and combining it with the preventive etiquette that you need to put in place so that people actually protect themselves. Else you are heading towards a conversation of herd immunity, which...
So that does it for Flash News here on Omi Television. My name is Jemima Dodu. Over to you.
Over to you, Jolate. Anyway, have you tested for COVID-19?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
When?
I have. I think in the lockdown section.
During the lockdown?
Yes.
Oh, that meaning you are safe?
Yes, I am.
I thought it's not even up to 2 weeks.
Oh, they told me that if I am not safe, they will call me and come for
You've
me.
not received any call?
No.
I'm sure you are not safe at receiving any strange call at the moment.
I am not.
William is chasing you, right?
Yes.
Anyway, things are in order. Don't worry. We are safe here at Omi Television. You know we adhere to all the protocols here. So.
Yeah.
All right. So that does it for Flash. That was Jemima Dudu. So up next is Reverend Kweku Ado, NDC parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma West constituency. He has an exclusive interview with him for you to get to know what he has for his constituents. Reverend, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, by the grace of God, I'm doing well.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Same here.
I mean, the notice was very short, but you made time to come, so we are grateful to have you.
Why not?
You passed through the hurdle of winning, and it was a landslide victory. How did you get that in terms of your primaries? I want to start from there.
Oh, okay. Well, we thank God for this wonderful day.
Okay.
And I want to salute all the good people of Ablekuma West. Talking about the victory in the primaries, I think the people of Ablekuma West, most especially the NDC membership or fraternity, realized that they needed somebody who could lead them and also enable them to be able to unseat the current MP.
Okay.
And so I think they opted for me as versus my other counterpart.
Prince Derek AJ.
Yes.
What worked for you in terms of the strategies you put in place? Because we know this time around is money really intensive. You need to be very deep in terms of your packet and sorting people out and all that. How did you do that?
Well, I mean, that is the story. But then what I realized that there were two main factors that had always been a problem for the constituency as far as my party was concerned. And that was the level of disunity. So one, I made sure I had to tackle and try to bring a certain level of unity, which also gave a sense of being a unifier and being able to lead. And then secondly, to be able to have the personal touch with the people. So when we started the primary, way before we started, I'd already started my groundwork, meeting people one-on-one. So by the time they said go, we're already all over the ground. And so now to try to unwork that was going to be difficult for anyone.
Talking about disunity, how or what was the problem? How were you able to solve that? What was the real problem on grounds?
No, the issue have always been, as it is in most constituencies. Maybe the previous year there were primaries, people went to different factions, and then after that somebody emerges and then they are not able to patch up, unite. So those little frictions keeps lingering. And so in 2016 there were also the same usual thing. And after that, though we didn't win the seat, those things remained. And so in order for you to move forward, you have to go back and fix those fundamental things. You know, letting people to know that the party was bigger, the purpose of having an MP was more relevant than any failings anybody had. You know, just educating people on why the party needed to win and needed to have an MP.
Okay, so has that been solved at the moment?
You know, these resolutions, it takes a while.
Okay.
But I think we are 75-80%
Okay, so you're on course.
That's right.
Okay, so that was just by the way. So let me ask you about the issue about the president easing the restriction on Sunday. We heard him deliver his issues on that, or his the restrictions he felt had to be put in place. Now I'll come to why a reverend minister or pastor delving into politics. I mean, partisan politics.
Yeah.
But first of all, what are your thoughts on president's decision to ease restrictions, especially with the one that has to do with church?
Yes. You know, Sunday I was waiting for the telecast, and then when he started, I was like, oh, is he going to lift it? Not going to lift it? And then when he said he was going to lift it, it was like, oh, wow. And then you hear the restrictions that came with it. And then on Monday, when it was even clarified, then I said, man, they are telling us not to go to church.
Oh, you think so?
No, because when you look at, I mean, putting your offering basket outside, getting a thermometer, having a team trained by the Ministry of Health to be able to know, having a space for in case somebody is sick, I mean, not being able to wave your hands or handkerchief, not being able to dance. You know, for some of us, we get inspiration from the praise that we give unto the Maker. And then the one that really hit me was, oh, there will be vigilante, I won't say vigilante, there will be personnel going around to inspect. So when you start at 9 o'clock and for whatever reason you close at 10:05, you violated. You know, so all these things. And you know,
but we are not in normal times, like we've been saying, and so we have to adjust to the situation.
Yeah, we are not. Then we should keep closed.
You think so?
Yes.
But some of the pastors were calling for that, and the president said that he had meetings with this clergy, and they felt some of these directives were in order.
It may be true, but I think for certain aspects of it, personally, was not the way. You know, easing it for people to be able to worship, it's fine. I mean, 1 hour. How many minutes for praise? How many minutes for open prayer? How many minutes for worship, praise? And how many minutes for sermon? And how many, at what time? Anyway, this is how we should give our offering from the outside. And then also you do your closing announcements within an hour. And then people have to. So for the bigger churches, and so far, in as much as people may have opted for an opening, you could also hear that most of the big churches are saying we'll rather stay home and keep our Zoom or virtual services because the guidelines and even the cost of being able to reopen, and you are expected to fumigate so often, you're expected to have this and thermometers and the cost of running the sanitizers, the soap, the hand washing liquids. You know, these are all now becomes an over cost. And then beyond that, you see the purpose, I believe, that most people go to church is to find some solace, to fellowship, and also to be in the corporate gathering before our Maker. You know, so if in going you have the same restriction and you are even freer to even worship at home, then I think it's a better option. You know, because the sacredness of, for instance, communion or breaking bread. Now they say we have to put the communion outside. You take it before you come in. So are you going to keep holding it till after the sermon, or once you enter, the communion should be? You know, all these things are, in as much as it's not the normal times. I think then maybe we should wait. So when we realize that, I mean, we can ease it properly with less restrictions. You understand? I know some churches that are not so big. You see the size of your office, your studio here, which may take a normal day, maybe 80 people. So now they have to cut down to about 15. But because of the nature of the structure, you need air conditioning for the people to feel comfortable. And they say you can't use it. You get. So when you look at the totality of the restrictions, I think some might be able to get through. But my other issue that you know how, even when it comes to the things of the Spirit, in case maybe you're in service and the Spirit of God wants to operate in a certain dimension, you have to cut it. Because you just have 30 minutes to close. And, you know, so the whole essence of being able to worship, to serve God free with that liberty, now we know it's not normal times, but now it's feel like it's being squeezed. So I personally would think we rather keep doing what we are doing till we realize that the situation itself has minimized much, that when we open up, we can be able to serve God freely. You know, when somebody has to drive all the way from maybe La Paz to come to Dansuman to church just for 1 hour with all these other things, most likely.
But I think we have to commend the president. Probably he feels that it's still appropriate that we have a service sort of to worship God. So instead of being at home, at least if you have 100 people congregating, it will be fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that the idea on the surface seems like a good thing. I'm not against it. But what I'm saying, it makes it difficult for it to be adhered to. Okay. You understand? That's the main thing.
Okay, so now let's look at the schools too.
Yeah.
Final year students also have to adhere to some of the directives, making sure for the tertiary, for instance, 25 in a class and all.
The school issue, I have a problem. Because you know I run a school.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm just imagining these kids coming from 9 o'clock to 1 p.m. There's no break. So there's no religious activity. There shouldn't be any contact.
Yeah.
You know, and with JHS level, ideally when you are teaching, you need to inspect the work of the children. You understand? You need to oversee, walk through, make sure, because they are preparing, they are writing mocks, they are writing exams. All those things will have to cease.
Or you might probably have to glance through, not necessarily picking the book or something.
Oh, no, but you see, you sit, so that means you have to be a distance from them and then observe what they do. You understand?
But so don't you have that right to move around like as a teacher?
No, you'll be breaking the protocol. You're supposed to be a meter away at all times. you understand?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then with they wearing the mask, I mean, even for them, we all know how uncomfortable it can be, though we are not in normal times. And for them to deal, and then after they close, where now supervision is off, but depends on them. They will be cautioned, they will be taught to do the right thing. The danger of them even going in and out of their homes, teachers coming and going back and forth, and then the fumigation aspect of it, you understand, that the government wants to do. And then when you get to the tertiary, where my nephew who lives with me is, I was asking, at the level of adolescence, that's when these people don't believe anything. They think they are supermen and superwomen. You know, telling them in their dormitories, how are they going to, even if they all go in the day, you know how they feel like they're above and everything adults say it's wrong, but what they believe. you understand?
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to the BEC, for instance, these are the internal exams. We can always find systems to move them, move it further.
Okay.
And I think what the government could have done was also rather support for the virtual learning to be more effective.
But there will be a lot of challenges in terms of the virtual. Not all the students will have access to internet and all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The government could have could have helped with a package to help with the data for students. And that's been, for our place, that's been one of the complaints of parents. And I'm starting the data. You understand?
Even some of them don't have mobile phones.
Yeah,
a whole lot of challenges.
Well, so then since now we're moving into a new era, then maybe we need to start considering such.
Yeah,
you understand? And then there is one technology somebody was trying to sell the idea to me, where you have the on-time learning for the children in their homes. A similar thing like what GLTV is trying to do or is doing. You understand? And now the responsibility now, it's on that child if their parents have gone to work. Would they do it? Would they even be serious about it? You understand?
Supervision.
I think in all, our numbers are increasing, and maybe the death rate is not escalating as much as, but then when it comes to the children, we should have at least waited a little bit. You understand? That's my personal opinion.
I think he's been very hasty in terms of
yes, because you see now, ideally we would have been in school now, getting ready to vacate end of July, and then probably reopen the first week of September. So, given we've not been in school all this while, why don't we stay the course, prepare very well, and then we set a time.
But we are told the president is privy to certain information that we do not have, having met heads of schools and all that. So maybe they suggested that to him. So if you were in his shoes, what would you have done knowing that students have to write their final year exam, the backlog of students who are supposed to go into the tertiary and all? You needed to take a decision.
But before I go on, for instance, you know, sometimes information, it's interesting. Because you remember at the beginning of this, the COVID, the Ghana Private School Association made a donation to the COVID fund.
Yeah, I think 50,000 Ghana.
You understand? Yeah. And I thought, I mean, what's wrong with us? We have teachers whom we've not been able to pay. We have teachers who are struggling, and then we take money and put in such a fund.
I interviewed one of their members. So what she told me was that they needed to draw the attention of the government to the fact that the private schools had been neglected, so they had to do something. That was the reason they donated, just to draw the attention to them. But don't think it's long?
No. But afterwards, you heard what I think that either the Minister of the Director of Education said. He said it was a misplaced priority. you understand?
Yeah.
Because it was really uncalled for.
But maybe to them, they felt it was appropriate.
Yeah, I'm sure the leadership thought so. So that's what I'm saying. That so in taking advice or listening to counsel, it depends on which area it's coming from. But you see, we are torn between making a decision, what happens to the backlog, we are not in normal times, what happens to the children being at home is not normal times, what happens if the backlog going into the tertiary, we are still not in normal times. But then now we have to prioritize what is more important. You know, is it the life of the citizenry, the lives of the students, or they just going through the educational system? You know, because we can, since we are not in a normal time, we can always redefine our terms, our semesters, so that the people...
We are humans.
The people who would have to go to these institutions can be alive. That is...
can be alive.
Yeah, I mean, like if everybody is dead, who goes to the school? Yeah,
but on a lighter note, if you look at these tertiary students and that of the basic school students, these are people who are not prone to the virus. If we want to look at it from that angle too, they are not within the category of, forgotten the term for it, but they are not really those who can easily get affected in terms of even if they get a virus. But that's not to say you should play with it anyway.
That's the point. You know, because in as much as they may have a better recovery level or maybe better capabilities to be able to deal with the system, notwithstanding the disease is still real.
They'll even come home anyway.
Yeah, but then now the issue is that because they've stayed home, we are not seeing how bad it is. But then when we start congregating them, then we'll see the reality of what it means to take care of children.
Okay.
You understand?
I agree.
And then, you know, the class hour has been moved to 45 minutes, you know, and no breaks from 9 to 1. We all know the attention span of these children, you know, but we'll have to manage them. Okay. You understand? But if we had reached a level that we are sure that the children coming, the probability of any of them contracting it. The other thing that I would have thought was that, for instance, if the students were going to go to school, then there should be a mandatory testing for all teachers, all students, before you enter. Because, for instance, if we'll be reopening on the 29th, then maybe about now, the teachers who will be teaching should be tested now. And then around the 27th, they are tested again, which is almost 13, 14 days. And then we know now.
You have that capacity to be doing the testing?
That depends on the government.
So maybe they think they are not that financially.
And so now it's a gamble, is that right? So if it's a gamble, then which one do you choose?
But you see, we know that some are very asymptomatic or whatever. That time. And so if you test them 3 days later, you find out that they haven't, all that. Some too might not necessarily have it within that time frame you're talking about, and maybe after on the 27th you mentioned they are tested, but within then they might still have. So it's a whole lot of uncertainty in terms of testing and getting to authenticate whether one has it or not.
Yeah, but the information minister and all the health specialists makes us to understand that testing is the way.
The capacity.
You understand?
Okay, so from that, let's look at EC piloting. They started I think 2 days ago. They ended yesterday. Are you in support of the voters register? It's an obvious answer, I know, but
not it being obvious. At my age,
yes,
okay, I was fingerprinted for a biometric system.
Okay,
I was born in '67. It won't change.
Okay,
my hair is black. It won't change. My eyes are brown. It won't change. So whatever information you need from me, you already have. So why do I have to go through the whole cycle again? to have that done again.
It might not necessarily be as a result of you, but because of the challenges we have. We have to clean the entire system.
No. I mean, but we all know that it's been said over and over again by those in authority that the register is credible. You understand? And it being credible by itself, fine. If there are a few things that need to be cleaned up, why don't we focus on that? Why don't we have systems in place that could filter those who may, which I believe the probability or the numbers is not as great as those who are real Ghanaians.
The whole lot of issues you have to consider in terms of the system and all that. You see, you have to upgrade. We talk about upgrading probably. Compiling a very new register would probably solve the problem, as the EC says.
Well, you see, when in most of the things that we do in life, it's either half empty or half full.
Okay.
You understand that concept? So what they are thinking, and especially looking at even something like the time range from now till election time, and then the criteria upon which they're going to base to do the registration, and the number of people, the number of associations who are saying that this thing this time is not the right time. You understand? Because if you are cleaning something up, you are cleaning it up for a purpose. You see? So if the thing is not broken, why fix it? I mean, all the arguments that are being done, I see it as there must be a purpose for which the stance of that argument is being taken. But that's why I gave you a reality, a very basic thing. But over 17 million people have this card, which has been proven to be one of the best ways to identify who a Ghanaian is. Okay, so can somebody say that over 30%, if there be errors, would it get up to that number? If we are not in the tens of percentage, then why even with all the errors? Why can't we wait till next year? Why can't we wait till next 2 years? Meanwhile, this same voters registers, as people keep saying, so sometimes I don't want to talk about it, has really gone through a lot of bringing changes. Even the current president, I mean, the assembly elections, the referendums, all these things with the same register. You understand? So if that be the case, what the haste?
And they're doing it in the interest of we, the Ghanaian population.
No, but I say, what is the haste? You are doing it in the interest of we Ghanaian people. And then I'll say that my auntie who lives in Akwemufie, my mother's cousin, now doesn't have a passport. Was not able to get the Ghana card done. Now we, the children or somebody else, has to go and vouch for her.
For her. The only person.
Socially cry. I mean, how it just doesn't
it's still, you still have to go by that. Those are
no. You see, but those are the things I believe that we need to challenge, and that's why maybe some of us, especially the NDC and some of the other parties, are taking the stance that it seems very unreasonable. You understand? And it's interesting. 2 days ago, the former president Kufuor also made that same stance. You understand? What would it have costed? I mean, talking about yesterday, the pilot project, for instance.
Yes.
You know, I heard the PRO for the EC this morning on Atinka saying that, oh, it went very well. And there was a question that was asked. How many people per polling station were you expecting to be able to reach? You understand? If it's 100, as it's been said, and then you're able to do 45, does it really shows the power of the machine that you'll be able to hold when you have thousands of people, even within the cluster system, within the 8-day period or the 6-day period, to be able to do that? It shall be done, or it can be done. You understand? I mean, let's come into the simplicity of everything. We are all Ghanaians. We want the best for Ghana. But then when things are being done, it should be done in a way that everybody kind of feels okay doing it. You understand? I mean, I remember with this, when we were doing the ECOWAS card, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, you join queue forever. The system is down.
But I think this one is quite faster than that. We gathered is just 10 minutes. The process is just 10 minutes.
In as much as it's fast or presumed to be fast. Yesterday, it was reported that some places it takes a person up to 30 minutes, some places 25 minutes, and the lowest I had was 20 minutes per person.
I also had 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. So 10 minutes. So if reality, with the on normal times that we are in, even added to it, how do we deal with that situation?
Dedicating a whole 40 days to do the registration. 40
yeah, but you're talking about 17 million people and over. You understand? You're talking about over 17 million people, you know, trying to get this thing done within the shortest possible. And we know when we are done, we need to still do exhibition. After the exhibition, corrections have to be done. And then even still transfer also have to be open and all. So, I mean, it seems so cumbersome in my mind, even to think about it.
So if you just tune in, you're still watching the National Platform right here on Omi Television. I'm still with the parliamentary candidate for the NDC within the constituency, that Ablikuma West constituency. So yes, we are still with Reverend Kweku Ado. Reverend, you should be in church preaching. Why politics? Partisan politics.
The word of God says that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. When the wicked also rule, the people groan. And God, I believe when you look into the genesis of the things of God, it was only the men who were filled with the Holy Spirit, filled with the power of God, who led the nations. You understand? And when we as Christians shy away from governance, which I normally say, then we have people who are not trustworthy, who are not honest to lead us. And then we get into a state of chaos. You see, being in leadership, it's a call at all levels, because we know, my Bible tells me that it's the Lord who raises kings, you understand, and leaders. So there's nothing wrong, or I believe it's a call to also serve the people of Ablikuma West and Ghana as a whole.
Or we could have selected someone, keep praying for the person, go we are with you, we'll support you with prayers. Why are you yourself?
Yeah, prayers will still go through. And so then you realize that in my constituency, prayer is going forth, incense is being burnt. But then when it comes to the grace of leadership, you cannot put it under the bushel. And more so, everybody and what they are called in life is supposed to be. That's why even when you go into the church, there are different offices. We have the prophets, we have the pastors, we have different, and we have even people who have the grace of administration. You understand? And I believe my call is also to help to shaping the governance of the people, so people can live the Christ expected filled life that they are supposed to have.
When did you join the NDC?
I formally joined the NDC in 2008.
2008, formally?
Formally,
Okay.
because before that I was a sympathizer.
Okay.
May my good friend Humphrey Mensah, may he rest in perfect peace. When we were in the US, he invited me a couple of times to the NDC DC chapter.
Okay.
And so, I hung out with them. And then when I returned to Ghana, that is when, looking at the philosophy of the party, I decided to join.
Throw a bit light on that. Let's speak.
Yeah, the philosophy of NDC, it's equality and egalitarian treatment for all, regardless of their social, cultural, religious, or educational backgrounds. You understand? That is a fair level field for everybody who comes to the party. You understand? And I think that is how life is supposed to be. That it's not because you don't have money, you are treated fairly, maybe by the justice system, or because you are quoted maybe of a particular tribe or religion, you are disadvantaged because of that. You understand? But then it is believed that everybody should have a fair chance to live a full life, and then I always do this analogy in my understanding, that when you look at NDC, it's like, let's go to the ground, help the people in the ground, at least to come to the middle. You understand? Which I think that's the best any person or any group of people would want to wish for the people that they abide and live with. So, and when you look at our aims and objectives, one of them, the F, which I just love, seeking to have basic school education become free, which I think every child needs to have that opportunity. So it's the ideology.
So we're attracted by the ideologies of the NDC party.
Yes.
Let me look at your constituency as well. When have you been involved in any activities in terms of being a branch executive, constituency executive, and donating to party and all? How integral have you been in terms of your constituency?
Oh, since 2008, during Fritz Barfort's time.
Okay, Fritz Barfort.
Yes, I've been a very good supporter.
Okay.
Financially, logistic-wise.
Okay.
But being a constituency executive, no.
Okay.
But primarily, we've worked. I helped the party in Ablikuma West to do a fundraising, which I chaired.
Okay.
You understand? During the Mrs. Chumde 2016, we supported heavily. for the sources, and so was it in Madam Akwele's time. You know, so I've been involved very much, but normally it had been with the financial and the logistical support.
So you were behind the scenes.
Yes.
I feel this is the appropriate time for you to chair in terms lead the constituency.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now I want us to look at your educational background so I can link it to your ambition.
Okay. How far back do you want to know?
Okay, we can take it from your basic level, so we can just quickly run through that.
I attended a nursery school, Pennywise in South Labadi Estates.
Okay.
And then I went to South Labadi Experimental for class 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then moved to St. Anthony's Preparatory School, Latebi Okoshi, where I finished my common entrance.
Okay.
And then thereafter I went to Soum Secondary Technical.
Oh, okay. Soum Sector.
Yes, I've been for, yes. And then after that went to Kumasi Institute of Tropical Agric.
Okay.
Got my NVTI certificate. Then I traveled to the US and did some psychiatry technician course at San Bernardino Valley College, and then went on to do a nursing. Okay. And got my license as an LPN. Okay. But then I realized thereafter that I really didn't enjoy dealing with death and blood and all those things. So I shifted into banking. Okay. I went to the Riverside Bank Institute, Bank Tellers Institute. Then from there, worked with Citibank, worked with Travelers. Okay. And then while I was doing that, then I went to Dell Carnegie Institute in New York to do public speaking and communication. Okay. My license, and then finally settled in with Long and Foster to do my real estate practice licensure. Okay. So then I developed to become an associate broker before I returned to Ghana.
Okay, so let's look at this certificates you've acquired and how you were able to use that to help your people should you get a nod to lead them.
Yeah. One, that's why I have a great passion for our environment and sanitation, which affects the health of our people. You understand? During this COVID, for instance, I've been doing a lot of education to the citizens of Ablikma West, why we need to take it serious.
Okay. Is the school yours? The school?
The school was originally started by my mother. Okay. But for the past 15 years, I've been the one in charge.
The name of the school?
Odarine Christian School.
Okay. Very popular.
Yes. But then, I said, with some of the restrictions, they said, there should be no religious activities. I said, this is a Christian school.
Okay. Okay. So you can...
you understand? Yeah. Yeah. So then that health part, and for instance, in my school, we don't have a nurse because I play that role. Oh. For them. Okay. And then also when it comes to real estate, I do teach real estate principles for the past 8 years. For the youth of Dansoman and beyond learning. And then you realize that that's where now the concern and my expertise in real estate brings bear to the issues with housing in a place like Ablikma West, which I believe we'll be able to tackle. You know, tenant, landlord relationships. Just before we even entered the studio, we're talking about this 2-year rent that people collect and the inadequate housing, you know, because UN standards for a room should be a room with a door and an escapable window. You go to certain parts of our constituency, I mean, the windows you could barely come out if in case there was any danger. So that means by UN standard, it's not called a room, which you call inadequate, part of the inadequate housing issues. And then you find houses where there are no places for convenience, you know, maybe 8, 10, 12 apartments, chamber and halls, but there's only a place for shower. You understand? These are things that also really affect the livelihood of the people. You understand? And then beyond that, communication and the education in which I've been self-educating myself all these years also helps, because in my place, for instance, I give over 40 scholarships a year. You understand? So that children can have the basic education. So I think my background really gives me a very diverse opportunity to be able to help in so many ways when it comes to their constituency. And then being part of the clergy too, it gives a certain sense of being able to understand emotionally how people feel when you are with them in the constituency.
If you go through the constituency, there are a number of slums, the Glefe area and co. Looking at you being an estate developer, and how do you link that to the slums, and how are you able to solve some of these challenges?
One, education, and then two, dialogue. Because we need to dialogue with the homeowners. A very basic issue in such areas. My land ends here, and so I build my home on the line. You understand? Yeah. Okay, so what happens to the other person? Should they decide to also build? So you realize that when you walk through them, that's why they have become slums. You understand?
The layout.
The layout is all messed up. That you can't blame them, because if town and planning and those who were in charge had done what they were supposed to do, maybe, you understand. But now it's already there. So we need to educate and also bring a sense of modernization to the homeowners first. That's the dialogue. And once we're able to do that and there's understanding, then now corporately, we can start trying to find a way where we can fix it. You know, when you go to somewhere around the Gbebu area, I walked through one evening, it had rained, and you see water gushing through the houses, like it finds its way. You know, and so I asked the resident, so how do we fix this thing? You understand? So if we can kind of cement and help it with PVCs and stuff like that, the water will find its way into the gutter. You understand?
Just to direct it straight.
Just to direct it, so it doesn't veer into people's homes. So then I asked, what do you think if maybe we should do a pilot project where maybe we take 100 by 100 square foot with little houses on them, resettle them temporarily somewhere, and build a high rise where everybody would have an apartment, comfortable parking space. It says, oh, it will be very nice. But I doubt if the homeowners will agree.
It looked far from reality to them.
Yes. So then I spoke about education. You know, letting people know the reality of their situation and how it can benefit them over time. Normally brings people to a point where they can understand why you want to help them. Okay,
so I'll come back to your policies, but let me look at your constituency, Ablekuma West. 2012, you lost for, over 10,000 votes, if I'm not mistaken, same as 2012. You have Esla Owusu Ekufu as the MP. Communications minister, you can talk of her qualities in terms of her popularity within the constituency. Are you able to unseat her?
Did you ask that question?
I did.
Yes.
You think so?
No, I know so.
You know?
I know so.
Why? You think the grounds are fertile for you? She's the communications minister.
You know, being a communication minister, I really applaud her for her work. You know, but when it comes to our constituency, the constituency needs leadership. A leadership with openness, a leadership with respect, a leadership that hears the concerns of the people, and a leadership that is willing to help solve the issues of the people.
I mean, she's really been doing that because she's won it 2 consecutive times.
Winning
2012, 2016.
Winning necessarily doesn't mean the job is being done. That's why now the clear indication of the 2 different styles of leadership and the oomph with which proper leadership is supposed to be exerted on the constituency. And now talking about winning, there may have been some lapses in our camp which we have fixed.
Okay.
And then other issues.
So you think that, okay, continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, and other issues that has been tackled, definitely. You see, because namely when you talk about population, we have about a 91,000 voter population.
91,000.
And then a majority. Last year, 2016, for instance, we had about 60,000 voting. Okay. And so now...
The backlog of 30,000.
Yeah. So now, if we are to go to the grounds and start explaining the issues or listening, which I've been doing a lot with the people, hearing what their concerns are and why their concerns are not being met. Any person would want to find somebody who will be able to meet their needs. You understand? And that's the urge I believe I and my party have. And then when you talk about the numbers, there is no way, if you're talking about number-wise, she could win NDC. You understand?
But she's been winning it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So the idea is mobilizing our base and working hard and being in touch with the constituents.
So if I get you, or if I can deduce from what you are saying, you're trying to say that the division within your camp, that it's as a result of that she's been winning in terms of you having some kind of division within your party.
No, that it's one aspect. The other aspect is mobilizing the base to go and
mobilizing
vote.
them.
Yes.
So you've not been doing that.
Oh, but
enough.
I think now we will do it more effectively. You know, and there's been times where our strongholds or perceived strongholds, I mean, during election, there are always uproars that brings confusion, you understand, which we believe this time in collaboration with all those that matter, including the security services, we should be able to have a fair, even playing field, which now we can get the numbers being able to, not being disenfranchised, to be able to vote and vote in their numbers.
You are a philanthropist. I have followed you because of the interview. I know a lot about you. I know you did a lot of donations during the COVID-19, and even before that you were doing it. And you think your philanthropic work can lead you to Parliament? Doesn't it go beyond being just a philanthropist?
It could be a plus. It could be an add-on, because when out of my personal will, I can have a borehole done that the whole entire community, which we are always deprived of water most of the time, getting water from my end, and people realize, and it's for free.
Okay.
You understand? When scholarships are being given to little children whose parents could not afford, for them to also have good schools, it's over 40 a year. You understand?
Over 40.
40 students every year. And then when you have training for the youth in real estate so that they can be employed, and then they are happy that they found some fulfillment in doing some work. You understand? It's just because it is good. You know, my mom used to tell me that, Kweku, when you have more than you can eat in a day, it's not because of anything, but because God wants you to bless somebody. You understand? So if it was left with what I can spend, then I don't need all that I have. Once I get more than I need, the purpose is God wants you to help somebody else. You understand? So, and I think that is what humans are supposed to be doing. That is where I stand and say that I think there is more we can do. And when elected as a member of Parliament, there's even more that can be accessed by the people so that they can have just better livelihoods.
But you know, the Constitution really does not, in terms of a parliamentarian, you don't really have a lot to do within the Constitution. What we would want to look at is probably making sure your lobbying skills is at par to be able to lobby for projects to be done. You are not supposed to do the projects that you're talking about, the boreholes, the social amenities and all. You are supposed to lobby. And that will even be dependent on your government in power. That's the reality.
Yeah, but this is the issue. We all know what the basic role or the duty of a parliamentarian is. You understand? But as we're on this show, like you said, you were going to ask me my plans.
Yes.
You guys put people in a position where you have to now act or think like the chief executive of the constituency.
But you should be telling them the truth.
Let me. You know, so the reality is that the things that I'm saying that I have done was not because I wanted to go to Parliament.
Okay.
You understand?
I get you.
It's just because I wanted people to have better lives. You get a point.
So with the
but then, having said that, the lobbying skills, right, will help for you to be able to. But then the foremost is to be able to meet the stakeholders in your constituency. 2, know what their desires and aspirations are for you to be able to go advocate for them. when you're in parliament.
So if you are able to win, let's assume you win, and then I'm not saying your party wouldn't win, but let's say NPP wins, definitely, sometimes we have this challenge between the MP and then the MC and all that. How are you going to, within your own means, because it might be difficult for you to lobby to your constituency, how are you going to, within your own means, help your people? I know you've done a lot, but they will definitely expect more. It's different being a philanthropist, and it's different being the member of parliament. You are father for all. You even mentioned about the 40 students you've sponsored. Is it within your school, before you come to the question I was asking? For your school?
My school, and then beyond.
And beyond?
Yes. Normally, as I'm led, I have currently 3 students in the Volta region that I'm funding for. I have another 2 in the Ashanti region that I'm taking for. And then quite a few of them, even currently in Legon, that I'm also sponsoring, helping them to have their education. You understand? So, having said that, you realize that being in parliament, like you say, or anywhere else, it depends on how you are able to relate with people. For instance, whether your party be in power or not, if you are the MP and the district chief executive, there has to be an understanding. You are the chief. We need this for our area. Then you would have achieved your goal as the chief executive. And I would also have helped for our people to have a better life.
Is it the case here in Ghana?
Oh, I believe that there are places where it does happen. At least I know 1 or 2 situations, not to mention them, but where I know the MP and the MC from the opposing parties, but they are working very well for the sake of the people. You understand? When we understand that it's not about me first, it's about the people first, then you realize that some of these things can be put on hold for the good of... You see, and one of the things I yearn, when I was younger, when you said you lived in Dansoman, it was a pride. It was prestigious.
DC, right?
Yeah. you get the point. And we seem to have lost it. But these things will come when the stakeholders come together in the constituency to be able to dialogue and see how best. And then with whatever leverage the member of parliament will also have to augment what their desires are for us to have a better constituency. So it's not a one-way street. You understand? It cannot be, I want to do this, and so this is how it's supposed to do, or the chief executive will have to do that or do this, that's how it's... No, but it has to be you see, when you walk through Ablikuma West, and you realize, see the number of the youth unemployment, it should burn the hearts of any person or any leader.
But how are you able to solve that? It's a big challenge.
It's a big challenge, but it has to start from somewhere. And I believe with situations like that, it should first start from database. Having a sense of the situation you are faced with in numbers.
Reverend, don't you think that sometimes when you are not in a leadership position, it's easier to say, but when you get a position, it becomes difficult to implement some of these things?
Well,
Ablikuma West is quite big.
It's big, but it's not as big as other constituencies. You understand? But I hear people say that. You understand? But I beg to differ. Because a leader doesn't mean you do it all by yourself. You need to have the skill to be able to delegate, so that things that have to be done are done, but with your supervision. You understand? And so it's not something you will have to go, or I will have to go and say, what is your name? No, you put systems in place that helps you to achieve what you want to achieve. You understand? And then I believe one of the detrimental things in the entire country that I see is our time management. Because people spend so much time on so many unnecessary things. But in everything you do, you need to be focused. And then you arrange and plan in such a way that there's always people who have to help you to be able to achieve your goal. You understand? So whether you be in parliament or not, you should have able people who periodically you can meet with and see. Would that be too difficult to do? Now I run 3 businesses and assist in a church. And I think I do well with them, because you apportion time properly You understand? As to the goals that you've set for everything that needs to be done, and make sure it is done and done properly.
Are you ready to go dirty? Definitely, you would have to face some of these challenges. Are you?
Where dirty,
how are you
where
going to
dirty means what?
People come at you. I mean, accusations upon accusations. Sometimes you'll be infuriated to the extent that you even forget you're a reverend minister. You throw it at them, you realize, I'm a pastor, so I have to. Are you ready for that?
You know, it's something my constituent says all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Reverend, this is politics, it's not church. This is politics. It's
partisan politics.
You know, but I just find it interesting because I think if I do well, it will be in the annals that it's possible for a religious person or the clergy also to be in governance. You understand? Because anywhere you go, you'll find people who say the negative things about you. You understand? I remember years back, I increased school fees. And I mean, everywhere you pass, they say, oh no, Kono.
Within your school.
He's come from America, he's increased the school fees. Okay. You know, he likes money too much. You get the point. And then you find where real estate, you go sell a land to somebody and there are issues and say, oh, he said he's a pastor, he's a thief. You get a point. So then you come into politics and you find people say all kinds of things.
Sure.
But you see, when you're a leader, these things are expected. But it depends on the character in you that will help you to be able to overcome. And overcoming them is what makes you exceptional.
How are you able to relate with your people, the constituency executives, the branch executives? Because I'm sure it will get to a point they'll be like, oh, Reverend, push hard. Why are you being pastoral and all that?
Well, is it fight?
Politics we are doing, for Christ's sake.
I think, I think politics can be better. I honestly believe so.
Who is your mentor anyway within NDC in terms of politicking?
There are a few people I admire.
Okay.
There are a few people I admire.
Okay.
And now, Haruna Idrisu, I think he's a slick politician.
Okay.
You know, I really.
You're hoping to meet him there?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the savviness of Neil Ante van der Poel.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there are a few. Some George sometimes I appreciate his.
Okay.
You know, the Jata thing. You understand? But you realize that.
I was actually thinking you mentioned Prof. Mills anyway.
Oh, I will come. You see, there are many people that you find admiration and draw strength from.
With the different characteristics.
You know, all those I've mentioned are those currently
I think they are different in terms of the people you mentioned. They all have their peculiar aspects.
Yeah, you understand. And then I think that in as much as politics, it doesn't have to be insulting. You understand? I mean, put the policies down. Let the people understand you. You get the point. If something you have to refute it.
Reverend, that's what people will say.
I'm sure by now they are laughing because they will say that I always say, when you are bathing and a madman comes to take your cloth, then you also come out and chase the madman for your cloth. No. Recompose yourself. Find a way to cover yourself with your towel. I mean, go.
But I must say, some people will be attracted to that. In terms of you calming things down, it might work for some people.
Yes.
But as to whether the majority would go with that is another thing. You know, our style of politicking in this country, the vociferous people are those who are recognized, especially those who insult and all. So it's about our system here.
Yeah, but it all has a point where it ends. You understand? Because one, we are all human beings. And we all want to be respected and dignified. You understand? The fact that I'm soft-spoken maybe, or try to calm things, that I'm not firm. You understand? Because all the professions I'm in, you need to have a strong character and a firm hand to be able to do them.
The qualities.
You understand? And so I understand when people argue that you have to be tough.
What style of a leader are you? Sorry for to truncate some of your. I just want to make sure we're able to.
You know, I am very much choleric. You understand?
Oh, okay. In terms of your temperament.
My temperament. But then I have a phlegmatic part too.
Okay.
That's
to adjust to the. Okay. So perfect combination there.
You know, so but I believe that sincerity. You understand, and openness of mind. Is the key, you know, because when you personally are sincere with maybe an issue, then you speak with it, and then based on that, now you see how reasonable that is, and then you can get input, whether from party stand or political ideology, and then you blend them so that in the end, the import of what you want to do is understood.
Okay.
You get a point. Yeah, because you realize that when you use fire for fire, it never works. It will be disastrous.
Yeah.
So you always have to be sure that the end result is what will help the people. You get a point. Somebody can insult me. I remember somebody said something to me. I was in a filling station.
Okay.
And the call came. That I told the person, I'm buying gas, I'll call back. You understand?
Yeah.
So when I took off from the pump, I parked, and what the person said to me, for 5 minutes, I couldn't start my car.
Wow.
The next thing I saw, I'm on TV though, but you know, I was tearing. You know, because the person, what they said, which was not true, and everything was like, how can this happen? You get the point. But then the next minute, I composed myself, thought through the whole thing, and called the person and said, in the future, don't do this, do that. A few days later, the person came to tell me, thank you for helping me. You understand?
You became emotional at that point.
Yes.
But some of these things will come.
Yeah. So that's the point I'm trying to make. That so I have understood that even when it comes, your character have to show forth a strong, resolved, and firm.
But you weren't, so meaning that you're a bit emotional.
Oh, who is not emotional?
Like to get to a point where they want you to take drastic response, you know, and all that. But definitely your character will.
If it's for the good of the people, something being drastic is always not destructive.
Okay.
You get the point.
Sure.
And so when incidents happen, definitely people will have different opinions. But you as a leader need to sit back for a moment.
So was that part of the reasons why you had that landslide victory? Because it's quite mind-boggling to have over, is it 500?
Yes.
As compared to your compatriots?
Yes. I think the people understood, and
your style worked for you.
I think so. I think so. Though I will reiterate that some think sometimes I should be a little sharper.
Okay.
You understand? But I think there are places for that. You just don't react, because always your reaction to an act is very, very crucial. You understand? So when things are happening, when it comes to our people, I try to let them understand that what is the purpose? This thing that has happened, your reaction, in the end, is it going to make it worse, or is it going to make it better? If it's going to make it worse, then it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Reverend, I know along the line you've given us some of your policies whilst we discussed, and you've been giving us, but I want you to, maybe you might have them and you want to elaborate more on it, because I'm sure our people would want to call and talk to you. So some of your policies, because it's very important before you get into any battle of this nature, you should have plans and policies and all. You've mentioned some of them.
But I can go over some as necessary.
Yeah.
You know, one, I think I would want a constituency where periodically we have a stakeholders meeting with the chiefs, with the business leaders, with the church leaders.
Stakeholder meetings. Okay, wow.
I think, once, twice a year is paramount. You understand? And then you also get the opportunity to report to your people how you're faring in Parliament.
Through the stakeholders.
With the stakeholders. And definitely, when you are able to meet them, it will get to the ground. The other thing that bothers my mind a lot is the youth, the level of the youth unemployment.
Okay.
You understand? And I think once the database that we are working on is done, we'll be able to categorize them in groups and then see practically how some can be helped.
Okay.
You know, because I realize for certain areas, certain groups of youth unemployed in our area, they will need to be retrained.
Okay.
You understand? And I also believe entrepreneurship is the way, you understand, to help them. Another group of people that my heart goes out to is our mothers.
Okay.
So I really want to push women empowerment. You understand? And the women, in there, I can't go through all the structures that we have in mind, but then a place where we can empower the women and those who are in businesses, those who we can encourage to or help to beef up their businesses. You understand? Because they support the home a lot. When you're on the grounds and you converse with people.
Very true.
You know, and then the elderly. You get a point. I came to Dansoman in 1978. You know, and my parents have grown and passed on. Some of their friends are still alive. And those who were younger than them, who would have been our older brothers and sisters, are now also aging. I really want to help so that we can have a center for the aged, where we can...
The aged?
For the aged, yes. Where periodically, maybe once, twice a week, different groups can come and you help them to be able to live a full life after retirement. You understand? And then also we want to look at our recreation. You know, Dansoman, our recreation it's so poor. You know, we have so many recreational parks that I think we can make it better for our constituents. Beyond that, there are other special groups that we may want to attend to, like the fisher folks. We want to try to create a form of help them have better retirement even in their adult age. Then we go to the security in our area. I was just a few days ago, I was going home and I asked myself, today the street looks too dark. You know, so then I raised my head and I realized that some of the light bulbs have gone off. You understand? And even for me, having lived in that area over 40 years, the mere fact of the darkness, for once, gripped me. Yes, you know. So security is something else that we have to put in point, especially towards the Ebenezer Down area, you know, and then also to push a broader agenda and through negotiations to help every child in Dansoman as much as possible, at least to be able to be educated. You understand? These are a few.
Wow, you have a lot for them. Let me read some of the messages we've had for you. So, Reverend, you are the best man for Ablekuma West development. We shall continue to support you to victory. Ablekuma West shall rise again. That's Emmanuel Ni Odate Lamte for you. Then my name is Obed from Begbeise. Can you help me? Begbeise, yes. Ablekuma West. Reverend have been, so I think he wants to say, Reverend has been a very good man, respectful, listen to advice, and God-fearing man. Listening to Reverend, he can do the job and can make Ablekuma West proud and NDC proud. God bless you, Reverend. That's from Obed. Then we have, so good morning, Ruben. Thanks for the wonderful moment. My question to Reverend Ado is, how can he topple the NPP parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma West, who has never helped the youth of the area in her 8 years reign as an MP? What will be the basis for voting for you as our MP? Tell us, the youth, what you stand for or what you stand to gain. So that's Cecil Dansoman Ebenezer. I'm really watching the program with keen interest. So this is from Cecil. So he wants to know what you have for the youth. I'm sure they might have followed and know exactly some of the plans you have, but he wants to be specific on what you have for the youth.
Yeah, like I say, we're going to help those who need to be employed and help them the best way that we can. Those that have to be either retrained or redirected, you know, because I realized at a point that in my school we're receiving a lot of applications. And when you go through the application, sometimes very poorly written, and then you go to the next page, and then you find A, B, C, second class upper, you know, then you ask, you understand? So then I realized that even for some of them, we can just help them. That's why I'm creating a youth employment center. Just to rewrite their application CVs better. Because the education-wise, they've done well, but the thing that will augment it for them to look employable, even when they present the applications, it's not there. You get the point.
It's a nationwide problem.
I believe so, because they write applications, they don't even sign. you want to apply for a job in my school and you spell the name wrong. That means you've not researched where you want to go work.
Sure.
You know, you write an application letter and you write it to the HR. In the school, you don't have HR. It's the headmaster or the director. So help them to know that when you want to work in a place, for instance, you should have an understanding know what the place is about. Then when you apply, you can write on authority to apply.
Okay, Reverend, let me, on this note, open our phone line so that our viewers can call through. So you can call us on the line on your screen. We just open it 0302-964-072, 0302-964-072. So we have in the studios the parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma West in the person of Reverend Kweku. And we're having a very nice conversation. So those within the jurisdiction of Ablekuma West, you can call if you are from a different constituency and you want to tell him your suggestion, or you want to bring in your suggestion. You can also as well contribute to the program. So Reverend,
yes.
How about the family? Are they in support? Definitely you should have the support of your family. Are they in support of your decision to contest?
Yeah, majority of them are.
Okay, but some are not. If
Initially,
you say majority, some are not.
there were a few in the beginning was like, oh, they're going to insult you, insult us.
Okay, and insult us.
Then I said, well, responsibilities comes with that. You understand? But I think now everybody's on their knees praying that the will of God be done. You understand? So family-wise, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
They give him their full support.
Okay, I asked you this question. I'm asking again with the branch executive and the how is the support? Are they all with you?
Oh yes,
okay.
Yes.
The major. Okay.
Yeah, majority.
Okay, I'm told we have someone on the line, so let's listen to what the president has. Good morning, please. Your name and where you calling us from?
Good morning. My name is Nene, and I'm calling from Zone 6.
Zone 6. Okay.
Yes, my West constituency.
Very well. Very well.
I'm the branch chairman for Deadly 1. So I'm a strong NDC member, and I'm very happy to hear from my incoming MP.
Okay.
My only issue or advice is that he needs to hit the ground running quickly. We've visited some few churches and visited some community leaders and all, but a lot of people around our area, like the Shabu area, do not know him. And anytime we talk about him, and they keep asking, so who is this reverend? Who is this person you are bringing? Because some of my friends who are MPP, and they really want to vote against Islam, but they don't know him. So the earlier we start the house-to-house campaign, the better, so that we can all, win handsomely. And I can assure him that we, the branch executives, are solidly behind him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. I'm sure, Reverend, you've paid heed to whatever he has for you. Okay. So, what were you doing during the COVID-19? Most of your other colleagues took advantage of that and met a number of the constituents.
Yes, we did likewise.
Okay.
I mean, we made sure where. I'm
at this point, the calls will keep truncating your thoughts.
That's
yeah.
fine.
Hello. Your name and where you calling us from, please?
I'm Emmanuel, calling from Gilefe.
Okay, Ima. We are all ears. Ima, talk to us. Yeah, Ima, talk to us.
Calling from Nansoma.
Okay,
Gilefe.
Sure.
Yeah. What I want to say to Reverend is that he should focus on whatever he's doing, and that he's going to work. Everything is going to be okay.
Okay.
Because whoever Osla, that is our MP, for instance, isn't really helping. So he should try as much as possible, and then all what he's saying, put it into a practical way so that we will move on.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for your submission. Well noted. I'm sure he's taking note of that. And so, yes, you were talking about some of the things you did during the...
Yeah, I'm a micromanager.
Okay.
Micromanager. So, I like to know the nitty-gritties of everything.
Sure.
And I think anytime you're...
There's someone on the line. Okay. So sorry about that. Yeah, hello.
It's all right.
Hello.
Oh, I have a beautiful lady on the line. I can see you via the line. How are you doing?
You can see me through the line.
Yeah.
I am very good. My name is Marianne Ado, and I'm calling from Zodiac Akoko Photo Wall.
Okay.
Reverend has been doing a wonderful job. During this corona, he has been feeding over 3,000 people from breakfast, lunch, and supper. And Reverend has done so many visitations through the fishmongers, tractor drivers, taxi drivers. He has gone through hospitals and so many things. He is doing very well. And he has vision. He has a heart for the women. He has a mind for the youth. And he's so concerned about our daily activities that is going on through the constituency. I believe that when he's elected into power, because he's a pastor, he will not let us down. I pray for him and I wish him all the best. And I know that, and he knows that we, myself and all my team members, are strongly behind him. We are praying that this woman will leave Ablekuma West. She doesn't have anything good for us.
Okay.
She has been in power for the good 8 years, and our roads are still as bad as it was way before she was even in power. She decided to go and build a bridge using drums and barrels. When you know that place is so strong, when the water comes, it will destroy this thing, and you decided to go and build it. Reverend, please again, when you come, let's make sure that NDC stays in power for good 12 years, so that we put a stop to this woman. Thank you very much, Reverend. I wish you all the best, and you are looking handsome.
All right, so Reverend, she says you are looking handsome.
I thank her.
Yeah, she's more like your PR, you know. She's done all the job. She's even said some of the things you've not said here. She said you fed over.
I don't like to pump up too much.
Okay, but is it true that you fed over 3,000 people?
Yes,
I think we saw some of them on our screens.
Yes. I remember one morning.
Okay, so there's another caller.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Please, your name and where you calling us from?
My name is Cecil. I'm calling from Dansoman.
Oh, Cecil Tego.
Hey.
It's been decades. How you doing?
Yes. I'm fine, thank you.
Wow, it's a pleasure hearing from you.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's go.
Reverend, actually, I'm so much impressed with how you were answering the question. It's on point. One, we had enough of MPP. We already know Ablekuma West belongs to the MPP. When it was Ablekuma South, that was when NDC took the mantle. But we believe your hard work, your dedication, your tenacity to, overturn certain things that are going on within the Ablekuma West constituency, people, or maybe the elderly, will change their mindset about always voting for the opposition, and then give you the nod for you to enter and then bring development to the people of Dansoman. We've had enough. We know where we are coming from. Actually, I've been in Dansoman for the past 8 years, and I know how development has been like. And I believe you being there, you also know, as you came to Dansoman around 1978, you understand the terrain and what I'm talking about. And this time around, we are going all out. And I believe, with God on our side, victory will be ours.
Thank you, Cecil Tego. It's a pleasure hearing from you once again. We will talk, yeah?
All right.
So, yes, that was Cecil. I seem to be having some positive comments all over. I hope that is what is on grounds. Is that a reality?
I would think so. I would think so. Because personally, when I go to the ground, you hear positive things. And I encourage people to live with their conscience.
So let's answer this call as well. Hello.
Hello there. Good morning.
Good morning. Name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Ablekuma West.
The name?
Nee.
Okay, Nee. Okay, sure.
Yes.
Let's hear you, please.
I'm calling from Ablekuma West. My name is Nee.
All right. Your submission.
Reverend, God bless you. But you have the chance. One thing is, you must see the ground running. The ground is what you show around faster. These people make sure they use money. But don't mind that money that they will use. But make sure that you hit the ground running. Thank you.
All right. Thank you too. I was saying honorable anyway. Reverend, whatever you say they'll hear, so when they are talking to you, can talk to them as well.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
I think I'll have only one caller. I would have to pick just the final caller. Yeah, there's someone on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, please. Can you lower the volume of your TV set so we can hear you all, please?
Yeah, my name is Obed from the Base.
Okay, Obed, let's hear you.
Okay. I thank Reverend very much, and he's a very hardworking man, and I know and I believe in him. He can make Ablekuma West proud. God bless him for coming to Ablekuma West to change Ablekuma West. Reverend, God bless you.
Thank you very much, Obed. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining us. I think I would have to pick a final caller. Hello? Yeah, please. Okay, so I'm told that we've lost the caller there. So, so Reverend, you were telling me some of the things you did during the COVID-19 lockdown period, and even before and after.
Yeah, I was saying that one morning I received a call, and there was this lady sobbing on the phone.
Okay,
you know,
so we have the final caller. Please, your name and where you calling us from?
Good morning. I'm Tuesday, calling from Dalton.
All right, please talk to us.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Reverend for a very good work he's doing. I mean, he's been a good man to us, the Ablekuma West. So he should continue. That's all.
All right.
I'm Tuesday calling from Dalton, like I said.
Very well. So he's heard you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Reverend, let me read these Facebook messages before you finally wrap up.
Okay.
In a minute or two. Okay. Quite unfortunate, our time is up. So this Gideon Obed, he said, God bless you for your help and your support in Ablekuma West. So that's coming from Gideon Obed. We also have Anis Mactory, the people's man. God bless you. Another one says, a man of change, Reverend all the way. And then one also says, man with wisdom and vision. And then Ben Adams also says, the man with vision. So Bernard Bueno says, keep the fire burning, Reverend. So these are some of the comments we have on our Facebook page. They seem to be watching us via Facebook. So Reverend, in a minute or two, unfortunately we have to go. So in a minute or two.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I believe that in Ablekuma West, we need to have it better.
Okay.
I think we're one of the very reputable constituencies, and that has to remain. And so I just want to encourage everyone, not necessarily NDC or MPP, every resident of Ablekuma West, and to know that whatever good that comes to us is for all of us. And I've always told everybody I meet that I want a change.
I'll prefer you use this camera so you can talk directly to them.
I want a change that I know they all so much desire. And I believe that no matter the hurdles that we are faced with now, everybody come 7th December should at least do their best to go and vote. And not voting, but they should know that they are voting for change. Because the change that will come will forever change the perception of people about Ablekuma West and our lives in that constituency forever. I have always believed that when you are a leader, you need to be open, you need to have respect for the people, and you need to humble yourself so that you can listen to them when they speak. And that is exactly what I'm willing to do for them. And I believe by the grace of God, they will all be careful with this COVID-19 pandemic, take good care of themselves, follow the protocols, and then in the end, they wash their hands and all to make sure they live well.
Okay. They were playing some pictures I wanted us to end, but kindly bring them again so that he can give us clarity on some of the things and where he went and all. A minute or two. So let me have it on the screens. Yeah. So where?
Oh, this it looks like I visited Opetekwe.
Okay.
That was the Easter Monday.
Easter Monday.
Sharing snacks for the children because they couldn't go to the beach. Yes.
Okay.
And this was a Sunday morning. I was called that there were tons of people at the Yaboman Beach.
Okay.
So I had to rush there to go educate them.
Okay.
And that was the week after they had arrested some people at the Choco Beach.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to, and this is an elderly woman, a lovely, sweet lady. She made a comment to me, I remember her very well, when I was visiting the elderly in the constituency.
Okay.
Yes, this was in the Nasrawa Risco constituency.
Okay. Yeah. So this and many more he has done, and he's hoping that...
This is in Shabu.
Shabu. Okay. So we had an exclusive one with Reverend Kweku Ado, who happens to be the parliamentary candidate for NDC in the Ablekuma West constituency. Reverend, it was a pleasure having you on our show. We can only wish you well and then pray for you to wait for whoever will emerge as a victor from the NPP camp and see how it will go. Probably we might be interviewing you the next time as the MP elects. I'm just hoping, and I would love to see how you react when you are probably, hopefully, maybe declared as the winner. But obviously, it's a difficult hurdle for you to surmount, and we can only wish you well. Okay. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so that was Reverend Eric Ado, parliamentary candidate for the Blakuma West constituency. My name is Ruben Tete. The squad here joined me. That is Samilation and Kofi Juma. Unfortunately, today we couldn't delve deep into the NPP primaries with Ofe Ado, but hopefully we will do that same time. I mean, we will do the same time too on next week Thursday. My name is Ruben. We streamed live on our Facebook page, so if you couldn't watch it, you can watch it back, and then it will be repeated at 9 p.m. Tomorrow. No, I mean this evening, 9 p.m. So 9 to 11 p.m. this evening. I had wanted my MCR guys to end with the Duduke song. The Duduke song. I don't know whether they have it. Duduke. If you have it, kindly play it for me. If not, any other song would do. Have a nice morning.